Howdy, folks. It's me again, Mad Hatter Scrappy. And I'm going to tell you something different today. There was this woman that was completely sick of her husband. She said, I'm done. Well, they had this big insurance policy. Now, she thought she's going to be rich. So she went out, talked to some unsavory fellas, asking who could do a job for her that wasn't noticeable. Well, they give him the name of this fella named Arthur. She meets him and he says, no, you call me Artie. Well, she talks to him for a while. She says, I need somebody to remove my husband from the immediate vicinity. He says, now, what do you mean by remove him? She says, well, I want him gone, completely gone. He says, you mean dead? She says, well, yes, that's kind of what I was getting at. He says, well, and just what are you willing to put into this? She says, I'll give you $5,000. He said, 10. She says, I don't know if I can do. He says, that's the deal, $10,000 or nothing. So she agreed to it. And she told him, look, we're going shopping this weekend. I want you just to follow us around until you get your opportunity and then do it. He says, well, you got a deal. And I expect the money when the job is done. She says, no problem. So he follows them around and he sees them go into the Safeway grocery store. Why he thought that would be a good idea, I don't know. I guess he was getting antsy, wanting to get it over with. So he followed him into the Safeway and he caught him back in the produce. Well, he talked to her. He said, are you sure you want to go through with this? She says, of course I'm sure. So he grabbed the husband and choked him to death right there at the produce aisle. Wasn't nobody else around the store, just nobody was in that area. So he turns to her and he says, okay, $10,000 right now. She says, I don't have it. I've got a $1 bill. And she took it out and handed it to him. And she said, I got my checkbook to pay for my groceries. That's all I got right now. He said, that wasn't a deal. You supposed to pay me $10,000 cash soon as the job was done. She says, I don't have it. I can get it for you. And he grabbed her and he choked her to death too. Left her laying right there by the produce. Well, the cops showed up. News reporters showed up. They's all checking everything out. You know what I mean? And the next day it come out, headlines on the little town newspaper. Artiechokes 2 for $1 at the Safeway. Yep, you can't make that stuff up. That there's real. Remember to like, share, and subscribe because old Scrappy here, he needs that stuff. Thank you all. Catch you next time.